Good evening, good day, good night, wherever you are. Now, this will be MoC 11's version of the Welt-through, where I'll be going through different MoCs with Welt Sustain in order to show that it works and where it will work, as well as its strengths and weaknesses. So hopefully, when Acheron drops or any future character that works well with Welt Sustain drops, you're able to use these characters in these ways. Or if you're just struggling and you don't have a strong or capable sustain due to the scenario you're in, you're able to do this instead. Now, I will not be doing the old MLC 11 simply because I've done it more than enough times already. If you were to check through my channel, I've done a ton of runs, and the gist of it is if you time Wilt in prison, right after Sam combusts, Sam will not be able to do his blast attack, which means his next turn he will not be able to use his ultimate. As I said before, with Wilt's turn skipping, the enemy still has to follow their order of attacks. If you Wilt ult after Sam's combustion, he has to do a blast attack, then a single target attack, and then he has to use his ultimate. Since you skip his turn after combusting due to Wilt's ultimate, Sam's next turn will be blast and then single target punch. It will not be single target punch then ultimate, which buys you an extra cycle or an extra turn's worth of time in order to either toughness break him with ratio and the like, or just use up all of his stacks with Darnayel. Or maybe Seal if you're running that. Now, funnily enough, the new MoC is very interesting because not a single enemy is weak to imaginary, which means if I'm able to make it work here, I'm able to make it work anywhere. As a main stipulation, people say, well, Sustain has is that it does not work against non-imaginary weak enemies, and that is incorrect. As I stated before, all you need to make sure you do with Wilt Sustain is make sure you toughness break the enemy. Once you do that, you're free sailing. And right here, I do have a DPS that is capable of toughness breaking the enemy, which will be my Chingtra. This is her build. I'll be running her along with Sparkle and Ruinmare, simply because this is the most comfortable variation of this build I currently have. You can also use Hanya instead of Sparkle, as I've shown people during the live stream. And you can also use Tingyun instead of Ruinmare for characters that require energy. My apologies, for characters that require energy, like everyone but Acheron. But you could also use other Harmony characters in the future. Just so long as you're able to toughness break the enemy, you will be fine. Do ignore this. All of my builds are, well, aside from Qingque, they're E0, S0, with, I believe, as free-to-play options as you can get. Well, is without tutorial, as you can make do without tutorial. It's only a little bit more troublesome against CC-resistant enemies, but in that case, I could always swap to samples like one. I value the effect hit rate more than the energy, simply because outside of Acheron teams, the energy proc will not be activating. So no, you do not need tutorial. Onwards and onwards. Now, I'm not going to be using Qingque's technique because I want to make sure I have skill points in order to use her attack and hopefully proc her E4. If I E4 procs, that's more toughness reduction, which allows me to do what I like. Now, you always want a skill with Wilt to apply slow to as many enemies as you can. When enemies are slowed, they act less. It's as simple as that. And due to Von Whack, Wilt gets to act twice before the Automaton acts once. Because of this interesting fact and good fact, I do not need to advance forward Wilt here. I can advance forward Qingque, while she eats all of my skill points. No E4 proc, but we make do, as well as a non-cram, unfortunate. Due to Von Whack, it doesn't matter if Wilt is hit or not, I can use a basic and save a skill point in order to get my ult back. And with this, due to the CC, I do not need to care about any of their mechanics. None at all. Automaton's percentage will be at 0. Oh, sorry, 33% because he himself attacked. And this wonderful lady will not attack me. Hopefully I can get E4 proc here. None. That's unfortunate. Due to everyone being slowed, amongst other things, I get to act many times before they get to act once. I will, in fact, target the Gatekeeper lady here, sorry, the Guardian Shadow, because she has more HP than the Automaton, and the Automaton is not acting for a time. Everyone is already slowed. Everyone is fully debuffed. I can Bolt Basic here if I like, which I will, in fact, do. I have the skill here. And this is where normally you'd want to Toughness Break. Toughness Break this lady. I'm going to make sure I use Chingchue's ultimate, so I don't have to use too many skill points, as I've got the E4 proc. I don't need to waste more skill points for more damage when I don't need that. And with this, I Toughness Break both these enemies. I'm going to skill with Will in order to farm up his ult, as both of these enemies are essentially dead. I could attack and finish them off, and save myself a cycle if I was to advance forward Chingchue here. And I have done that before, but I will not, simply because I want a comfortable run in order to show you how it's done. So instead, I'm going to basic. I'm going to carry on doing that until Volt's turn, where I can skill again. Cocolia resisted the Imprison, as she will, because she has CC resistance. But that is fine, as we don't care. Well, her rotation is incredibly easy, and we very much care little about it. Her rotation is basic attack, both of those single target. Then she has a single action of basic attack. Then she freezes an ally for 2 turns. If you have a cleanse, you need to make sure you cleanse it, because that 2-turn freeze is too strong. And then she sets up for her big white, after which she does, rotation restarts. Because I have an excess of skill points, I can freely attack here, and that's exactly what I will do. Using Will instead of turn skipping Cocolia, we're going to turn skip the Guardian Shadow, because the Guardian Shadow's gimmick is much worse than Cocolia's gimmick here. But I want to make sure I slow them both to make my life easier. In which case I didn't manage to slow Cocolia, which is annoying. 2 single target attacks, we are perfectly fine with that. Guardian Shadow attacks. And we imprison. If this imprisons Cocolia, then no enemy acts for the rest of the cycle. But sadly it doesn't. 6 skill points, only 1 E4 proc. That's fine though. Due to her being imprisoned or turn skipped, she can do nothing. Non-crit. Finally a crit. We have an excess of skill points, so I'm going to spam Bolt skill, and thankfully now slow Cocolia. Once again, single target attack, we do not need to care about that. Advance forward Chingchue. Hopefully get E4. Do not get E4. Bad luck really this run. I'm going to use my ultimate just to make sure I get as much toughness reduction as I can. I could defeat the Guardian Shadow here, but I will not. Sadly, we do not get to Toughness Break Cocolia here. So we just have to make do. She will freeze an ally. And the Guardian Shadow dies, simply due to the dots on the entanglement. We do not need to worry about her. Thankfully, due to the reduction of toughness for Cocolia, a simple basic, and she gets sent away. World skill. I'm going to imprison right now, simply because I want to minimize the amount of actions Cocolia takes. Chingchue is frozen, and she will not act. That's incredibly annoying, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to use this now simply to increase our speed, and hopefully have Chingchue act twice, before Cocolia acts twice. Very, very annoying. Delayed. And Concordia has to set up her ultimate again due to her turn being skipped. Now, if I'm to be rather honest, I'm not very proud of this run, as the worst of the worst case happened. But we managed to clear it anyway. I will in fact do another run this very instant, just to make sure we can save cycles and prove that you can. It's just Ching Chui's luck being a variable here. But yeah, with knowing your enemy, with turn manipulation, everything of the like, you're able to keep them in the lock. I'm going to use Ching Chui's technique this time just to make sure I can save more skill points on the first rotation. Skill once again, both enemies slowed, which is again wonderful. Advance forward Ching Chui. She's already got a full hand. Saved me skill points, but maybe I didn't need it. I'm not going to skill here, although I could, because once again, I only need a basic to get Welt's ult, and I do not want to trigger Guardian Shadow when she is not imprisoned. Let the Automaton attack. Let Ruan Mei get her turn first, because the action value is barely anything. And now, due to the turns being ended, I can reapply Defense Shred with Pulse. Since I have an excess of skill points, I'm going to skill here. Does Ching Chui already have a full hand? Yes, she does. Rather unfortunate luck there. I have excess skill points, so I'll use them wherever I want. And now I have Ching Chui's ultimate. Wow, atrocious luck, really. Okay, I'm going to use Ching Chui's ultimate here in order to ensure I get the toughness break. With the toughness break, these enemies will not act again. Skill with Volt to make sure he gets energy. Delayed. You can... That scared me. We can advance forward Ching Chui. Give her skill points. And we might be able to finish things in this cycle if I get a full hand quickly. And that I do. And with this, we've saved a cycle. We saved 2 cycles, I believe. And Welt's in prison has landed. This has given us an immense amount of freedom. Once again, we want a skill to apply as much slow as we can. I'm not going to advance forward Ching Chui because I want to make sure I do more at the end. I do not mind them acting right now. Now, unfortunately, the Guardian Shadow acts before Cocolia does, but that just simply means we will be turn skipping Cocolia instead. Lucky E4 proc. We're going to use it to get rid of the Trotter here. It would be better used to reduce Cocolia's toughness, but the Trotter does more damage overall. And I didn't crit. Guardian Shadow attacks, we can ignore. Cocolia attacks, and we turn skip. If the Imprison lands, then Cocolia is almost done for. And he doesn't land the Imprison. Again, that's within calculations, but it is unfortunate. We want to make sure that they're both slowed. E4 proc. This is fine, even if we have to use all these skill points. We want to make sure we have at least 2. One for Ruan Mei and one for Sparkle. And that's what I'm going to do now. Now, the Guardian Shadow gets toughness broken, so we can fully focus on Cocolia here and reduce as much toughness as we can. Once again, Cocolia's next attack can only be a single target basic attack, which means unless she hits Ching Chui, the run is fine. And Ching Chui she did not hit. With this, I can simply advance forward Ching Chui. And hopefully get a full hand. It would be incredibly embarrassing if I don't. Easy. And we managed to proc E4 as well, which gives us 2 attacks against the Cocolia that will soon be toughness broken, and also is vulnerable due to, well, beautiful crit, and second beautiful crit. And that saved us 3 cycles due to Qingchue's luck. That was not luck due to, well, you could argue that was variable luck due to Welt's Prison landing or not, but a lot of that luck was Qingchue's. Qingchue is just a very gambling character. You could alternatively use Seal instead, but I have trauma using Seal because she just never crits on my account. And there you go, an easy 2-cycle clear with only quantum weak enemies. Due to toughness breaking and the power that will sustain gives your ally, you're able to defeat the enemy before they're able to defeat you. Mission accomplished, and thank you for watching.